Hey, this is Steven Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus NXT. This is from March 10th, 2021. What can I say? It was a very good NXT show, though a couple decisions were a little wonky. They seem to make up for them. And much like the Dynamite show, they had a nice sort of turn at the end, sort of an unexpected thing that you didn't realize that you wanted so much until they did it. And that's always a great booking moment. A number of great decisions were made and things advanced, but they just ran into a buzzsaw of a Dynamite show. Though maybe those audio problems that Dynamite was having will help NXT out, we shall see. And regardless, I'm glad I have watched the show. Most certainly. We open up with shots of Finn Balor and Adam Cole, who are going to have a match, and Io Shirai and Toni Storm walking backstage. I thought this was really nice. William Regal opens. Again, I just think NXT needs to get away from this like talking segment to open the show. I just feel like it's just puts them at such a disadvantage. I'm sure they're looking forward to being on Tuesday nights and not having to go against Dynamite. I think their audience will get bigger, and this thing won't seem so egregious. He opens though with a very nice thing of Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez, since they got to the finals and won the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic, that they're going to be the first NXT Women's Tag Champions. I think that's a strange decision in light of the fact that they lost to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler when contending for the WWE Women's Tag titles. Again, further cementing NXT as a B or C list brand, unfortunately. But it is what it is. They get the titles. They're very happy about it. And so it goes. But Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon comes down, says, we would like a shot at those titles. And Regal makes it official. Cool. So some cool stuff going on tonight. We got Wade Barrett and Beth Phoenix, who are one of the better commentary teams going right now. They're slowly overtaking the Raw team, which I love, but partly because the Raw team has to sell some of the worst stuff going. But they're also there for Bobby Lashley and have helped really frame the Bobby Lashley reawakening very well. And regardless, we got Toni Storm against Io Shirai, a very good match that Io Shirai wins. I'll just leave it at that. No repercussions off of that. It just was what it was. Finn Balor is backstage. He's talking about that main event. He's got some harsh words to Adam Cole. We go to an NXT UK promo and another commercial break. Boy, they seem like they have a lot of commercial breaks. So Mackenzie Mitchell is backstage with LA Knight. He wants to speak. He says some funny stuff. He's definitely head and shoulders above just about everybody else on the mic, which is really cool. Bronson Reed attacks from behind because of what LA Knight and the suddenly rich Grimes did to him last time. Jake Atlas against Pete Dunne. This is the match of the least consequence on the show. Pete Dunne wins. Lauren and Birch join him, of course. He talks about, he made a name for himself in the UK, but he's the best technical wrestler in the entire world. He dares somebody to prove him wrong. Imperial's guys are backstage. Barthel tells Timothy Thatcher the whole world has been talking about them. They created something special. This is the old. This is in reference to the old Ringkampf stable. I believe it had Thatcher, Bartel. I think it had Walter as well. So scary group, right? He tells Thatcher to take his rightful spot and let's take what's always been ours. They've always been there for Thatcher. They're doing this all for him. But if he has to go to his friend Tommaso Ciampa for permission, then bring him along and they'll make it work out of respect for Thatcher. They're going to take over no matter what. Okay, that's intriguing. I like that. We see the two tag teams for the NXT Women's title match that is coming up. Back from the break, we got a pre-recorded promo from Leon Ruff out in the parking lot. He addresses, of course, Isaiah Swerve Scott. Cuts a very aggressive promo. It's the best one that Ruff has cut, so that's good. Got the NXT Women's Tag Title match. It's a pretty good match. A lot going on. But Ember Moon and Dakota Kai. Ember and Dakota Kai. It makes no sense. Ember Moon, excuse me, and Shotzi Blackheart wins. Shotzi gets the pin for her team. Everybody is happy. We got to see a tank entrance. It's good stuff. Adam Cole is backstage and they're booing him. Cuts a promo on Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly. He reminded them of who the leader of the Undisputed Era is. And then he delivers some harsh words to Finn Balor. Got a quick plug for Xia Li against Kaden Carter. Back to commercial. So Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart are being congratulated by the rest of the women's division. But the Ways, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are not impressed and stare them down. Gargano walks up, as does Austin Theory. Then they talk about the doctor thing, the therapy stuff they're doing. It is what it is. So the announcers lead us to a video package on WWE and Girl Up for Women's History Month. And we have another women's match. Boy, they're giving it to us, aren't they? Xia Li against Kaden Carter. The long and short of it is Li keeps taunting Catanzaro, who's injured, as she works on Carter's leg again and again. And Catanzaro finally makes the save with crutch shots. So Xia Li wins by DQ, but that's not the story. The story is, of course, brouhaha. And other people getting involved, like Boa. Cool. Again, this show is flowing. It's doing really well. Takeover, by the way, is going to be 2 nights this year, which will be interesting because I'll be working a bunch of the WrestleMania week shows for the indies. So we'll see how that affects things. I don't imagine it'll affect it all that much. The NXT Cruiserweight Champion, and he talks about the big 2 nights takeover, Stand and Deliver. And he reveals his travel ban. This is NXT UK superstar Jordan Devlin. It has been lifted, and it's bad news for Santos Escobar, the NXT Cruiserweight Champion. He's coming to NXT next week, and we'll find out who the true Cruiserweight Champion is. He shows us he's at an airport to end the promo. That's good. Zoe Stark, after the break, we get a vignette about her. About being on the wrong side of the tracks and wrestling being her escape. Then we see Io Shirai, the NXT Women's Champion, praising Stark after a recent match. It's a good look for Stark, and I think it sets her apart just a little bit, which on NXT, you don't have to separate yourself all that much. Little goes a long way, and this, I think, went a long way. NXT Cruiserweight Champion Santos Escobar is ranting to William Regal about what we just heard from Jordan Devlin. So Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilds come to get him as the music starts in the arena because they got a tag match against the Grizzled Young Veterans, and a little bit of a shock. Their men in the astronaut suits stop at ringside and take their helmets off, and it's MSK, not Breezango. So Drake is distracted, which allows Wild to roll him up for the pin to win. So Legado del Fantasma wins. So Grizzled Young Vets meet MSK at ringside, but MSK assaults them with the helmets, and Gibson's arm is injured like they did to Wesley a few weeks back. Breezango appears in the ring now, attacking Legado del Fantasma from behind, and brouhaha, and then the 2 teams dance together, who are standing tall. Mackenzie's backstage with Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. The long and short of it is Io Shirai walks in and stares at Gonzalez, smiling at her, and says she wants Gonzalez next. Gonzalez has a very boring, typical line of "be careful what you wish for." They really got to stay away from cliche stuff, especially with these younger people. Have them come up with better stuff. It's a good habit to get into. Don't slip into cliches, right? Adam Cole and Finn Balor are walking backstage. God, I hate that. Back to commercial. Mackenzie's there with Timothy Thatcher. He's talking about his whole thing. Long and short of it, Thatcher's thinking. Ciampa walks up and he doesn't know what Thatcher's thinking, but he isn't interested in teaming with Imperium. But he is interested in the shot at the General Walter, who sits safely across the pond while his troops do the work. That's intriguing to Ciampa. He says that what does sound good is a tag team match with he and Thatcher against Imperium next week. Ciampa walks off, and Thatcher thinks it over. Announced for next week is Leon Ruff against Isaiah Swerve Scott, Dexter Lumis versus Austin Theory, and the in-ring debut of LA Knight, likely, I would assume, against Bronson Reed. And finally, we have our NXT title match. It's real fucking good. It's really fucking good. No doubt about it. Finn Balor manages to win. Cole pleads and apologizes for what he's done to O'Reilly, tries a low blow, but Riley catches the arm. Then he beats the shit out of him, kicks him in the face, unloads on him, backs him in the corner, takes off the Undisputed Era band off of his arm. O'Reilly goes to back to work on Cole. He's yelling at him. All this stuff's happening. He tries to drop Cole on the steel steps with a brainbuster, but the officials stop him. And in the midst of this brouhaha, Karrion Kross suddenly appears at Finn Balor's side. Balor asks him what took so long, and they go staring at each other. Nicely done. Great stuff. Good job, NXT. Good meat and potatoes booking. And I'm glad to see they're not just going to hold serve until next month when they're on Tuesday nights. They shouldn't, because they got a Takeover 2 nights to build towards.